I want to, we have a question from Denise Gaddis. She grew up here in Flint, Michigan. She says she's undecided on a candidate. She's got a question for Seth. Actually, she's got two questions. Denise?
Thank you. Do you believe that God is relevant? Why or why not?
Relevant to what, Denise? The answer is yes if you're asking me if God is relevant to the vast majority of my constituents. Most of the people of this country are proud to care, or at least claim to care, as much about their current version of God as the ancient Greeks cared about Zeus and Poseidon, or the ancient Egyptians cared about Ra or Horus. Average Americans are even pressured by their country's culture to pretend to care or at least believe in a God, preferably the Christian one, even if they really don't. Mostly based on some nonsensical monopoly which Christianity has convinced the American people it holds over morality and general goodness. So sure, God or the concept thereof is pretty important to them. However, I'm not them, and I'm not running for the office of Joe the plumber, Jill the store owner, or Mark the pastor. I'm running for the office of the President of the United States, a body of government which happens to be accountable to the First Amendment of its Constitution. That amendment, in case you're not a constitutional scholar or graduate of high school history class, essentially prohibits the government from making laws respecting or restricting the exercise of religion. It was interpreted and referenced by founding father Thomas Jefferson as the separation of church and state, and has been so echoed by this country's Supreme Court. Considering that amendment, your question seems as logical to me as asking a man if God is relevant to him during an interview for a computer technician position. So you see, Denise, God is entirely irrelevant to the nature of the office for which I'm running, at least in regard to what bills I will sign or veto, what programs I will work to push through Congress, and how my moral compass is directed. God's only relevant to this job in empathizing with the cultural climate of the people of this nation and everyone else across the globe with whom I'm expected to communicate and understand to the best of my ability. But Denise, I want to make sure you're satisfied with my answer. So to be clear, just in case what you were really asking me was, do I believe in God and will I seek his guidance during my presidency, my answer is a hard no. I do not worship your God or any other. I do not seek advice from an intangible, celestial, imaginary entity, and I realize that the voice in my head is merely an internal monologue of my own stream of consciousness. I'm not vain enough to convince myself that I've made telepathic contact with some cosmic creator who cares what I think or feel about things. If I am elected president, I will be seeking the counsel of other men and women who have been elected and selected to their positions based on their expertise, experience, and or trust of the American people. If that answer is unsatisfactory to you, I feel deeply sorry that such a reasonable and what should be painfully obvious response to your question would actually prevent you from voting for someone.
Denise?
Yes. During our church services, we pray for the President of the United States. We pray for the armed forces. We pray for all civil authorities 3 times during our liturgy. And we give thanks to them. We pray for our loved ones. We pray for our enemies. To whom and for whom do you pray?
Denise, I don't mind in the slightest that you wish to take some of your valuable time every Sunday to thank, praise, and ask for help to and on behalf of people who aren't there in the direction of a God who probably isn't there either. That's your business, and it doesn't even freak me out that I might be mentioned during your weekly ritual. Likewise, if I were a man of prayer, it would be none of your damn business at to and for whom I'd be praying. Prayers made to a personal God are by definition of a personal nature. If I wish to pray to a jar of peanut butter that it will make the Queen of England pay off my mortgage, that's my business, in the same way that your equally absurd and more cultish prayer practices are your business. That being said, I like you, Denise, so I'm going to answer your question directly, even if it is none of your fucking business. To whom and for whom do I pray? The answer is to nobody and for nothing. But my results are probably pretty damn similar to yours. I wonder why that is.